Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today I'm going to be talking about Soundwave. Yes, I finally got my hands on a Soundwave. Now, I did a video quite a long time ago where I was talking about how a lot of these collectible, well, these items that they obviously create for the nostalgia people like me, people my generation, who grew up with the original toys, in this case the Transformers, and, you know, we loved our toys back then. And usually when you're a kid, your toys get broken, they get lost, you trade them to your friends, you move and you lose a box. You know, all that sort of stuff happened to me. In fact, when I moved out of my original home, I only had a small box of my toys that I took with me. The rest of them kind of stayed behind, and most of them got sold off, and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, you know, I went through a phase where I started to buy back a lot of the original Transformers and stuff that I loved. But there is some that I just never managed to get my hands on. And recently, throughout the years, I would say like even the last 10 years, we've been seeing a resurgence of things like this. This is like almost like the original Transformers. The packaging is similar, the toy is similar, and we had it with like Optimus Prime, and I remember seeing Hot Rod. Actually, I saw a few different Hot Rods that came out throughout the years. Starscream, lots of the original Transformers that sort of came back, kind of rebranded as these, you know, reissued toys. And I always wanted to get my hands on another Soundwave. I had one when I was a kid. You know, I played with him so much. He was at the point where he would just always flop over. He would never stand up straight. He was like one of my favorite Transformers, one of my favorite Decepticons during the day. And yeah, I love the Soundwave character. And then when they made a reissue, a couple years back, they made a reissue at Walmart. And I went to a bunch of them. I could not find them. I ended up looking online, and people were selling them for like $200 or something like that. Something crazy. Like everybody wanted to like cash in. So you can tell like some people, they just go there, they snatch these things up, they grab them, and then they kind of hold on to them and then try and like flip them for a quick buck. So I was there at Walmart today, and you know, the first one I saw, they had this one, Blaster. Which he's a cool toy too. I ended up finding this one. I think I found him in a thrift shop for like a couple of bucks. He's a little bit broken. He's missing, you know, that's the what do you call it? Like the handle of the boom box. But otherwise, he's pretty much intact. So yeah, they had a Blaster there, and it looked almost identical to the original Blaster. And I'm like, I'm not interested in Blaster. First of all, I have one. Second of all, yeah, you know, I had one when I was a kid too. But he was never one of my favorite characters. He's similar to Soundwave, but he's not the same. And I was looking at it, and usually, I don't know why, but at least a lot of the Walmarts where I go to, the toy section is very small, and certain sections, like the Transformers section, is very small. There's very limited amount of stuff that they have there. And so I'm looking at the Blaster. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I noticed behind the Blaster, I saw packaging that was blue. And I'm like, oh. So I grabbed it and I picked it up. I'm like, no way. So, yeah, it was this. This is the Soundwave that they had. So this is the 40 years Transformers anniversary, I guess. What's interesting about this is that he comes with 2 tapes. The original came with 1, and that's this guy, Buzzsaw. Somehow I have the tape. I don't know why I have a Buzzsaw tape, but I managed to get one. You know, there's no accessories with him, but Buzzsaw was the original that came with Soundwave. This one comes with Laserbeak and Ravage. And I remember I had Ravage as well. Ravage is the cat. But I think the Ravage that I had wasn't the official Ravage. I think it was like the fake one, like the copy of him, which was very common back then. I mean, a lot of the Transformers, I remember there was like these imitation brands that came out. But anyways, yeah, Laserbeak and Ravage. And I think why they did that was those were the 2 most popular tapes that Soundwave ejected during the Transformers first season. He would always eject Ravage. He would always eject Laserbeak. Very rarely did you see Buzzsaw. Of course, there was also the two Rumble and Frenzy that he also ejected. Now, first thing I want to mention about this, if you look at this, it does look a little bit different. I know it's on video, so it's a little bit hard with the glare. But the plastic that's used, it's not like the chrome that they used to have for the, the button and all that stuff. It used to be more of a chrome look. And I can demonstrate that here with the original Megatron. You can see he's got that chrome kind of feel. Now, Megatron would be really cool if they re-released him. I don't think they will, because he transforms into a Walter, I don't know the number. It's like a German pistol, a German handgun. So they probably won't release Megatron, at least here anyways. I can't imagine they would do that. Every iteration of Megatron has always been a tank or some other kind of weird figure. But yeah, this is an original G1. I don't have his cannon thing, which I know if I wanted it, it would probably be a lot of money for me to just buy that on its own. Or I've seen some people are actually selling like 3D printed ones or imitation ones or something. But anyways, I'm cool. I got Megatron, whatever. But what I was saying was, the look of the Soundwave is a little bit different. Now it's cool because I always wanted Soundwave, and I did have this one, which is a really weird Soundwave. I don't know the origins of this. I never had this when I was a kid. Apparently, it actually plays, I don't know if this, yeah, actually plays like real cassettes. I've never tried this. I found this again at a thrift shop. I was just kind of walking through one day. It doesn't transform though. It's just as it is. It's just kind of this blocky looking Soundwave. I guess it's just meant to play tapes. I believe it's got a battery pack or something. Batteries somewhere in here. I haven't actually spent a lot of time on this one. I just bought it because I'm like, hey, that's cool. The Soundwave. That's really neat. But that's all I've ever had for the longest time. And I kept looking online to try and find these. And of course, like I said, most of the time it was just flippers. It was just people reselling these things, and this wasn't cheap. I mean, I was kind of upset about the price, and I almost walked away. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to spend that kind of money. But then I'm like, you know what? I've wanted Soundwave for a long time now. I've been, every time I go into the Walmart, I keep checking to see if he's there. If I walked away from this, it would have been the end of it. I probably would never see it again. So, and like I said, there was two of them, and this was the best condition one. The other one kind of had a rip packaging. And then I was standing there in line thinking, do I want to open this? Do I want to actually crack this thing open and play with it? Or do I want to leave it in the box in its condition? I'm thinking at this point, I spent so much money, I'm probably just going to leave it in the box for now. If I ever get to a point where I say I'm going to, I'm never going to sell this thing or get rid of it, then maybe I'll open it. But I think right now, I'm going to keep it in the box. It looks cool. It's got the 3 cards in there for Soundwave, Laserbeak, Ravage. I really like the packaging. I don't want to wreck the packaging. I want it to stay in this great condition. I have no idea if this thing will even be valuable or a collector's edition. I mean, it's probably made at such small runs that, eventually, yeah, it might be worth something. But oftentimes you realize, like, when they create these things to be collector's items, they usually never turn out to be that way. But in any case, I'm going to want to keep it as is because I think Soundwave is one of my favorite Decepticons. Probably one of my favorite Transformers. And it's a shame that even in the live-action movies, they never really did him justice. I mean, there was one where he was a Porsche. The other one, it was weird. He was kind of like some weird satellite thing. I don't know. But I get it. To have this giant robot transform into a little tiny Walkman is weird. But, yeah. Anyways, so this is Soundwave for the Transformers. I guess you want to call these the reissue. I was glad to actually finally pick one up. And it's in great shape and everything. It's a nice packaging. This is definitely going to go with my collection. Anyways, let me know what you think. What's your favorite Transformer? Always like to hear what you have to say. Hope you subscribe. We'll talk to you later.